Well, a good evening to you all, and you join me on another late shift. And yes, I've got that funny looking umbrella again, that one with the LED lights that changes colour. Yeah, don't worry, I won't be doing another demonstration of that this evening. And so I am on another night shift. Got a bit of indigestion from eating my dinner earlier. Anyway, a bit of acid burn, But anyway, I'll just show you. I'm actually. You can probably see on the bus there are no stickers on the door. If you remember yesterday, there were stickers on, usually on the, I think it was at cab door and on the window. So we've actually got maximum capacity on London buses now. So we've got about, I think, is it 60 people maximum on a double decker? 60 people, or is it? I don't know if it's the full 80, 90 people minus 4. Like example, these seats here. We don't have anyone sat on these seats, I think, that are facing towards the back of the bus. We don't have any rear facing seats that are allowed to be sat on, as far as I know. Today's bus is different from yesterday. It's a Volvo Evo Setti, if you remember my favourite type of bus. That's right, a Volvo Evo Setti. But I just wanted to talk to you about, obviously, what I recorded 24 hours ago. I was talking about, obviously, the 17th of May 1996, when I actually passed my driving test. But I can remember, I think the day after, the 18th of May 1996. That one I'll never forget, even though I did forget it actually. Yeah, I'm just on a different type of bus. I don't know, forward facing seats, wait a minute. Why is that there? I thought we were allowed to have people sat facing forward. I don't know what's going on right now, it's so confusing. What's going on with all these rules and restrictions? Anyway, the 18th of May 1996. I remember, well, let's go back to the 17th of May 1996. Obviously, I was about to take my driving test. I remember my Aussie family came over from Fremantle, Perth, to come and visit us, and it was great because we went to see them in 1994, and I remember they came over in the early 90s, so it was really great. And I remember I can remember coming out of the shower because I was about to take my driving test on the 17th of May, and it was nice to see them, but I just couldn't go up and give them a big hug and everything, and you know, because I was so focused on, I want to pass my driving test. I was a bit afraid, I was a bit scared, because I don't want to fail my driving test, you know. And I do remember another family member failing his test twice, and he passed on his third attempt, so I was thinking that might happen to me. I want to pass first time, you know. Amazingly, I did, you know. So anyway, I don't know if that night we went out to celebrate. I don't know if I went out with my brother, I don't know. We went to Visage in Huddersfield. If you know Huddersfield, was Visage and Ethos. And I think I was just starting to go out then, age 17. I suppose there wasn't loads of places available at the time. I know there's a lovely place in Huddersfield now called Bar Maroc. It's beautiful. It's a Moroccan themed kind of bar restaurant. It's beautiful. They have like vegetarian pizza, crepes, you know, which is like pancake kind of stuff, homemade beers, and you know, it's not one of them typical establishments where you pile everyone in, get everybody drunk. I don't like that kind of, you know, I like maybe more of a European kind of, you know, that kind of culture in terms of not to go out and get wasted. I've never been into getting wasted. It's just not me. I know it's part of the English culture to go out and get wasted, but it's just not me, because I just don't want to get drunk and kind of suffer the after effects the next day, because I know when that's happened, I've been ill the whole of the next day, and I just think it's not worth it, you know what I mean? So anyway, I think we went out Friday night, and we had you can probably see a train, so I'm distracted by the trains, overground train, I don't know what it is. Anyway, I remember we went out, I think we went out on the Friday night, and there was a lot of young people, the music was nice, it was great, fantastic. I think I was working as a waiter as well at the Hilton Hotel remember me and my brother were. I think we worked there that night. We went out. We thought we'd go out the next night. And I remember at the time, my Australian family had gone with my parents to Scotland. You see, so I can remember them going. I'm sure it was the 18th of May. 25 years ago today. It's the morning of the 18th of May now. I'm in the same place as I was last night, but 15 minutes earlier. The shift's slightly different. It's not Sunday night driving, it's Monday night driving now, but it's still the same. It's very quiet and dead. Even though all the pubs and the restaurants have kind of opened, still is kind of that fear factor. It's not like everyone's gone back to normal yet, basically, you know. So, I remember going out on the Saturday, and I remember the atmosphere not being very nice. Just the music wasn't good. There wasn't any young people. You know, I was 17. And you want to be around young people, don't you? You know, unless you're around members of the family, older people. I mean, you know, members of the community, you know. But I can remember there's a lot of older people in the, I don't know, 30s and 40s and 50s. It's funny, it's more like my age now. You know what I mean? But I can remember just not enjoying the evening, and I remember I just drank. I started to drink. I wasn't a big drinker. I might have had 1 or 2 beers, but I remember that night I had 7. That's right, 7, 5 plus 2. 7, I had 7 lagers, which is, I think, if it's 598ml per pint, that's 4.2 litres or 4.1. I had 4 litres of alcohol in 2 3/4 hours, I remember. I heard about people drinking 15 to 20 pints, but I didn't know that was over the whole day. I'm just not a drinker, you know. I know it's kind of a different kind of video to what I'm doing, but I just thought I would tell you this is what happened to me 25 years ago. So anyway, I remember coming home. This wasn't really well. I was obviously drunk. I remember just, you know, my mum and dad obviously weren't there. I knew there was the new sofa, or the sofa from the 1970s was redone. My mum had the sofa redone, I remember, and but she wasn't too happy with, I think, the material or the cushions weren't as good as the original, so it was a bit of a disappointment, this new sofa that we had done. But anyway, I remember chatting to my brother, and I don't know what happened. I just must have fallen asleep, I don't know, because next thing I woke up and I thought everything that was in the lounge was in the garden, and I was like, what is going on here? I'm just thinking, why is everything in the garden from the lounge? Doesn't make sense. Is someone playing a prank? Because I know my brother doesn't do that kind of stuff. Certain family members did do that kind of stuff. I won't mention any names here, but you know what I mean. But I just know that it was weird, and that's when I realised, no. Many hours have passed. Many hours have passed, because it's light outside the house, and it's dark inside the lounge, and I'm still on the sofa in the lounge with the lights on, everything. So I thought, right, I just had to get some time to get my senses right. First time I'd properly been drunk, age 17. So I realised it was just, you know, I don't know. I can remember sat down. So I basically sat down, right, in a seated position. I remember looking down, and I remember seeing something on my shirt. It looked like kind of porridge, and then I realised what it was. It was vomit, and it had dried, and there was quite a lot of it. It vomited down here. It even gone down my trousers, and literally, imagine if that's a sofa, right? It literally went down the sofa as well, onto the floor, onto the carpet. I was like, oh my gosh, there's vomit all over the carpet, all over the sofa, the new sofa. But I wasn't thinking that I could have died. I could have died that night. So yeah, it was just a shock that I could have died that night. I could have choked on my own vomit, and that would have been awful. Imagine my brother coming down in the morning and finding me dead on the sofa, age 17 and 4 months. It's just not on, innit, you know? Crazy. Because if you think about it, right, in a seated position I was alright. I must have been, I don't know, because I can't remember, so I was just, must have been a lot of vomit coming out. I remember I drank 4 litres of lager, or whatever food I had as well. And so if I would have laid on my side like this, I know it's a bit, I don't want to lay down on these, you don't know what's been on these seats, but I'm just saying, if you're laying down like this, you know, you're going to have slight breathing problems. If you're choking, you could possibly choke on your own vomit, like, So I'm just doing a demonstration of basically what could have happened. And I know this happens to people. People have died choking on their own vomit, and I'm just want you all to know that just don't drink. Don't drink, it's just not worth it. I mean, yes, you know, you want to drink to forget all your problems and everything, but let's just say that I could have died that night. I thought I'd learnt my lesson. What I didn't know was 3 years later, when I was travelling Australia with my brother, again, nothing to do with my brother, and it's nothing to do with driving as well. It was just, you know, it was the fact that I remember my brother had left Australia, we were travelling, he wanted to come back home, it wasn't for him. So I was on my own, not on my own, I was in a backpackers in Australia. And I remember going out with some of the backpackers on the 5th of March 1999. And I remember thinking, I don't really know these people. But it was like, travellers was a bit like school. A lot of people were travelling, there were a lot of people from Europe, England, Ireland, Scotland. It was kind of a nice atmosphere. Anyway, I just, oh, well, let me see, I've got my alarm going off, I'm going to have to go in 1 minute. So that's just a reminder there. So yeah, so basically I went out and I remember I must have had 5 or 6 pints. Again, I can remember just people drinking too quickly, and I'm not into this. I'm not into this. And that's why I don't like to drink a lot, because it's just nice to have a drink with a meal. You don't have to drink to get drunk, but I know that's for some people. It's just not for me. So, obviously I didn't learn my lesson. Age 20. You know what I mean? But that's because I was around some complete strangers, and that was the reason for that. And I remember losing them in the middle of Sydney near the rocks, and I walked all the way back home to Waterloo, which was near Redfern. Redfern was a bit of a dodgy area in Sydney, it probably still is one of the worst areas in Australia, and I walked kind of adjacent to Redfern coming back. Obviously I'd had too much to drink, and yeah, Waterloo. When I think of Waterloo, there's Waterloo in Redfern, near Redfern in Sydney. I think South Sydney. There's Waterloo in Huddersfield, where the Yorkshire Tiger bus company is. If that's changed name now, I don't know. Yorkshire Traction it was. And then there's Waterloo in London, where I also sometimes drive my bus as well. So there's a lot of Waterloos there. But anyway, I just thought I would share my experience of what happened when I was 17, a day or so after passing my driving test. You know, it might be good to go out and celebrate something that's good that's happened to you in your life, but just don't go overboard or too much. I know when you're young you don't have the experience, and so it's just good to kind of, you know, take it easy, you know. don't do anything crazy, you know. Well, that's my I don't want to say that's my thought for the day, but I've been thinking about that the last day, and I was thinking I could have died 25 years ago, but I'm still here to tell the tale. And that's the end of the video. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to a 42-year-old London bus driver. And I'll see you all on the next video. Bye-bye for now. See you later.